Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tate, and this is the Alt Kings podcast. And today we are honored to be hosting one of the largest XRPL influencers and the founder of Zerpaay. Let's welcome on the show XRPP. How you doing today?
Hi, Tate. It's nice to be here, and thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to you about. I don't know what questions you're going to ask, so I'm excited to answer whatever question you have for me. No question is off limits. I can't say if I will answer everything because I'm an anonymous person, but anything you got, just throw it at me, and I'm ready.
Amazing. I just want to say thank you for taking the time once again. You've been on a wild journey in this space. And calm down, folks. It's called satire. Gotta love that. Love all your posts. Love everything you're creating. We need personalities like you in this space to make things fun, make things enjoyable, and at the end of the day, make things a positive space because we do have those. It's a roller coaster effect at the end of the day. We have the highs, we have the lows, and if we can get a little bit of both, why not? I'd love to start off with, though, who was XRPP before the XRPL?
It's a very good question. And of course, I'm an anonymous account, not because I'm like a nefarious guy or like an evil person behind the account or anything, but just because I prefer to have my anonymity, of course. I think a lot of people in this space do that, just like the bearable bull, for several different
Yeah.
reasons, but none of it is bad. And some people are their accounts are public, and that's great if they want to do that. But for me, a lot of people have wondered over the years, a lot of people have wondered, am I an insider? Am I one of the creators of the XRP ledger, i.e., Arthur Brito? Am I a big industry player? Am I an average guy? What am I? Suffice it to say that I am not Arthur Brito, but I would say that if I were Arthur Brito and didn't want people to think I was Arthur Brito. No, I'm not Arthur Brito, but I am just an average guy. I'm not an industry player, but let's say this, I was in industry for a very long time in my career before I came this kind of persona. And if you want to hear, do you want to hear the full story of how I became XRP Productions?
Give us a 60-second pitch on it, because I know you could
60
probably go on for
second? I can't.
hours.
Have you heard my shows? I can't condense this into 60 seconds. Okay, let me do my best. Are you timing this? I'm very nervous.
Timer starts now.
Okay, shit. Okay, I already screwed up. So let's start the time back over. No, just kidding. Okay, I got into XRP when in 2017. I found out about it. I became transfixed. I read a lot of Hodor blogs. I don't know if anyone remembers Hodor. I was a figure on XRP chat. I was absorbing everything I could about XRP. I loved it, and I started to really love the community. In 2017, we had that run up, the subsequent crash in 2018. But I, of course, wasn't here necessarily just for the price. I wanted to be involved in the community, and it really captured my imagination. Blockchain and the XRP ledger captured my imagination. So it made me think of a lot of stories and short stories that I could write about a possible future involving this technology. So I wrote my own short story, and I also had a short story contest on XRP chat in which people could submit their stories and win some XRP. There was like 70 submissions for that short story contest. Actually, it ended up being pretty popular. When that was done, I just continued writing other pieces and I decided I'm actually going to produce these on YouTube. So I produced them. I hired illustrators, voice actors, and so on to put these stories to life. It's a different type of XRP content than just daily news. And by that time, I was on Twitter and everything, and I created an account called XRP The Standard Productions because it was going to be productions about XRP and XRP stories and so on. It turned out that it just wasn't that successful. The videos would get a few hundred views or whatever, and it wasn't good for something that I was putting so much effort into it and personal money, by the way. So I stayed on. So when I ended that endeavor, I stayed on Twitter and I just wasn't producing those videos anymore, but I was still a presence on Twitter. And it was, I think, in November of 20, let's see, November of 2019 when, and people were trying to get me to write blogs for quite a while. And I'm like, I'm not a blog writer. I'm not a blog writer. But it was in November of 2019 that out of frustration, I just decided to write a satire article. And the title, I think, of that satire article was Congress Passes 50-Year Fast Track to Crypto Regulations. It meant to be satire, like the Onion or the Babylon Bee or whatever. And it was born out of frustration because we're, even at that time, we're like it's so ridiculous that there's not good crypto regulations. We're waiting. And then there's finally news from Congress and they say, hey, we're going to fast track this thing. In 50 years, we're planning on having crypto regs. And I thought that a few people would be like, okay, this is funny, or it made me chuckle, so maybe it would get 10 likes or whatever. What ended up happening, at least by my standards, it blew up. And at that time, I think I only had 1,000 followers or whatever. It blew up. It got 8,000 article views and hundreds of comments. And people were like, some people got the joke, some people and thought it was hilarious. Some people didn't get the joke and were saying, oh, this is fake. But nonetheless, it got a lot of attention and it was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
And at that moment, Tate, I thought like, okay, well, I'm not leaving the community. I'm still having as good a time as ever. And maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe I can be the satire guy. Maybe I can, because there's, as well as I do in the crypto space, there is no shortage of stuff to be satirical about and to make fun
Definitely.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah. So then I started to be the satire guy and I started to write articles. And what ended up happening, and I was writing them on Coil. I don't know if you remember that,
I do not
but
know.
Coil was actually run by Stephen Thomas, who is the former CTO of Ripple. He went off to be the CEO of Coil, and Coil was going to be like a solution for web monetization, a bypass around traditional advertising revenue from websites to where you would be able to be Coil monetized. So a website would be able to register with Coil. And if you had a Coil subscription, just by reading articles on a website, it would spit micropayments out to whoever ran the website. So Coil was a fantastic idea. It fizzled out like a lot of things do, but the idea itself, I think, was valid. But I became the number one creator on Coil. And so that was cool with my satire articles because I wrote one satire article a day. And this was, I wasn't really getting money for it, not much anyway, just tiny micropayments. But it was just out of fun. I just loved doing it. I loved satirizing this stuff because it's such a crazy space. I wrote one article a day for almost an entire year between late 2019 and I think the last one I wrote was in like the end of September of 2020. One a day. So try having your regular full-time job and family and everything and also writing what I thought was insightful and funny pieces every day. I was just doing
Takes
it
a
in my
lot.
spare time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very difficult, but during this time I essentially became the satire guy. I became the funny guy. So I would also do other content as well. People who have been following me a long time, they know that it wasn't just the satire articles, but it was also funny comments, little weird, dumb photoshops, fake tweets, and fake tweet DMs. And a lot of people have criticized me over time, but number one, I post right on my account that it's satire, folks, calm down. But also satire and satirical like fake tweets like that are they're a particular medium that really cuts to the bone in the way that other mediums just don't. So I will never apologize for the satire. I never do anything to harm anybody at all. Sometimes my pieces are really obvious satire, really ridiculous stuff, and they still end up being shared by others and then they take on a life of their own, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. But that's through no fault of the satire piece to begin with, from the account that everyone knows or everyone soon quickly discovers is satire. So yes, it was more than just comedic satirical articles. It was fun, different engaging stuff that I would make. It was content on Twitter, and it would keep what my goal was to keep the community entertained and keep them in good spirits, and it ended up getting quite a following. So over the past 4 years, it's steadily grown. It comes in waves, but it's steadily grown to the point where now it's, what is it, 130,000 plus
Yeah.
people
You've grown
that are following.
substantially.
Oh yeah, for sure. And to some accounts, like that's nothing. So everything's all relative, right? To
Definitely.
some people are like, "Oh my god, 130,000 followers," and to other people it'd just be like, "Psh, yeah, small fry, no big deal." So
True.
I don't put a lot of stock in, like, I don't think I'm a big deal because of the followers, but I do take pride in the content that I've made over the years that has, I think, been insightful in different ways and has also really made people laugh. I get more pleasure out of that than I think anything, knowing that. And there's some people that I've met who have told me and messaged me and so on, "Hey, you got me through some difficult times with the laughter, keep it up, thank you so much." Like, it's always entertaining, I always wonder what's coming next, and I just love that more than anything else.
I gotta say, 60 seconds turned into 6 minutes, but you answered two of the three questions I had aligned for
Oh,
that
I
segment.
thought you said 6 minutes, didn't you? You
Yeah,
said,
that's
okay, so
true. I gotta
XRP
also
6 minutes.
say though, I did love the satire you posted yesterday about the BlackRock ETF and all of that nonsense. I thought that was so comical. Just
It's funny
everything.
because this is actually the first time. So I post an obvious satire tweet, right?
Yeah,
An obvious satire tweet. And this is just one of thousands and thousands of pieces that I've done. But the tweet itself that you're referring to, let me try to bring it up here. Of course, my internet is giving me trouble. But the tweet that you were referring to is a fake BlackRock tweet that says, let me see here. Oh, wow, I tweet a lot, don't I?
you
It
sure
says
do.
for the it says, "For the record, yes, we are." This is from BlackRock, apparently, supposedly. "For the record, yes, we are trying to file an iShares XRP trust." That was the big news of the day. And then they say, "No, it is not one of those XRPP gags. Why does everyone keep asking us that?" And what's so funny about that, it's obvious satire, right? Why would BlackRock, the one of the biggest financial firms in the world that has like trillions of dollars under investment, from their Twitter account, they would really mention, "No, it's not an XRPP gag." I don't know how to make it any more obvious that this is satire other than to just post in the tweet, "Oh, by the way, this is satire." And I never do that because it ruins the whole effect of it. It's stupid. It ruins the funny of
Just
it.
go to your
But it's
profile, they'll
also,
understand there.
yeah, but it's a but and here's the thing. When someone, okay, let's say someone sees this. Let's say they're scrolling and they see, "Oh, BlackRock tweeted, yes, we're trying to file an iShares XRP trust. No, it's not one of those XRPP gags." Let's say they even are dumb enough to believe that. Okay, fine. They believe it, that BlackRock would actually say that. Then your next step, your very next step would be to take a look at who's posting this. So you click on the profile and it says right there, right in front of your nose, "This page is satire." So, but that's fine. I think what happens is 90% of people get it. Maybe 10 or 5% uh, don't get it. And maybe 1% or half a percent get pissed off. So that's just the way it is. And that's fine.
Hey, that
I'm
5 to
not going to stop
10%
doing what
pumped the
I'm.
markets yesterday.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I think today someone said, "Hey, I like what you do, but how is it any different than, that fake filing that someone just did that affected the market?" And I said, "It's easy to tell how it's different, and anyone with a brain can say that. Either there is an obviously satirical fake tweet from an account that says they are satire,
Yeah, literally.
or it is a real filing that someone actually filed. And I think it would be fraudulent if they put the name of BlackRock on it and it wasn't actually anyone having to do with BlackRock. That people could go to jail for that.
Yeah,
So are you honestly comparing those two actions? I would never ever do anything like that. I would only do stuff that's funny and silly in an obviously satirical way.
of course. And at the end of the day, it's just fun and games. It's quite
Hmm.
hysterical, though, I gotta say. I'd love to know,
And
were you able to ever turn these satire posts into a monetization and actually make some sort of money? I know X has recently came out with their monetization and allowing creators to be paid now from their post. And I'm curious if you're able to take from that pot now through these satire posts.
no, actually, and this is breaking the fourth wall. So, posting the satirical news stories on Coil, I was making a very tiny amount in micropayments. It was a ridiculously small amount. So, I was doing it for fun.
Sure.
Posting on X, I actually held out hopes that because I had millions and millions of impressions every month on my stuff, on my material, I held out hopes that Twitter or X, I still call it Twitter,
Yeah, me
almost
too.
refuse to call it X, so that Twitter, that they would actually be compensating us creators a decent amount of money. I do see posts from some people to where they'll put these posts where, oh, I just made $1,500 in the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks, or I made $4,000. Literally, and I actually joke about this with some other creators that I am on a group chat with personally. Literally, I make about $25 every 2 weeks from revenue from Twitter.
Wow.
So that's like fantastic. You're going to fill your gas tank maybe once a month
Yeah,
with
no
what you make
kidding.
from Twitter.
That's
But
actually quite astonishing, I gotta say, considering how many impressions you get. I'm curious now to know how X kind of scales the impressions and what their guidelines are to monetizing specific creators. It's quite interesting
that's a
because
good question.
you get six-figure impressions per post at least, and I'm quite seeing those numbers. You'd think you'd be getting paid relatively, maybe a couple $100 a month, maybe not necessarily a full-time job, but enough maybe buy groceries or like you said, pay for gas, something like that. But to think maybe
I
25 bucks,
think
that's
that it would be
nonsense.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it does seem to be nonsense, and I think other people have compared it to other platforms and have said, "Wow." I've seen two different things where people compare it to other platforms and they're like, "On YouTube, I would have made so much less. Look what I'm making on Twitter." And then I've seen other people say, "Oh my god, look what I'm making on Twitter
yeah,
versus the impressions that I get." So I would love to know, how do they convert the, because I'm sure it's not just impressions. How do they convert that to the monetization that they pay out? From what I've seen, they're pretty tight-lipped about how they figure it. So then it makes you wonder, like, is there anything nefarious going on there? I'm not saying that there is. I'm just saying I would love to know how they calculate that, because
definitely.
of course any one of us, if we have success on a platform, imagine this. You have success on a platform, you are at least one of the reasons, and I'm not at all saying that I am the reason. Maybe for a few people, I'm the reason why they're on Twitter. That would flatter me. But I am one of the reasons that make people entertained and come on to Twitter in our particular circle, right?
Yeah,
To the point where I will get anywhere from, I don't know. I need to check my performance, but I when I check it, it's normally anywhere from 7 million to like 12 million impressions a month on my material. And so it's nothing to scoff at. It's not what some people get, but come on, that's a lot of
yeah,
traffic of people who are seeing my stuff and who are, again, are on Twitter partially because of material like mine, because I'm a one of their staples in the community that they like to be a part of. But then how do they convert that to dollars? Tate, I have absolutely no idea. I would love to know.
great point. Yeah, I've to be honest with you, doing YouTube for about 2 years now, and I have yet to be paid from YouTube. There's a $100 threshold that they require for you to be paid out, and I'm getting relatively close to that. But from X, finally after getting my account fully monetized, I got paid about $43 from like January of this year all the way leading up until about August. And I was quite astonished with that small amount, considering YouTube has yet to give me a cent. And I've been doing YouTube longer. And so whenever I saw those numbers,
Yes.
it started to weigh on me. I'm like, wait a second, maybe I just start converting everything to X. But then again, I'm like, the numbers don't necessarily add up completely. And yeah,
I think that I think obviously in your case, at least you're getting some money from
true.
Twitter or X. So you would say, okay, shit, at least I'm getting some. Maybe I'll just go ahead and convert, and then we'll find out how much I'll get. I can't say that's a bad move, but at the same time, you can see how even if I
There's guys
get
like you who are getting nothing. It's like,
exactly. And it's shit. Even if I aspire to get up to XRPP's number of impressions and so on, it'll take so much work. And
yeah,
even with so much work, it might not even happen. But even if it does happen, honestly, for $25, and I'm not lying to you, literally about $25 every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's a little bit more, but it's basically about that. I think they need to improve that if they really want people to convert and just be incentivized to produce their content on X. I really think they need to change that. But I don't know how. I'm not running the business. I don't know if that's ridiculous to expect. I just think, my God, so many millions of impressions. Are you
Yeah,
telling me that's what you got for me?
terrible.
25 bucks?
Have you ever thought
Yeah.
about going the subscription route and allowing X users to subscribe to your account and then get exclusive content that is satire related and even maybe outside of satire?
Do you know? I'm going to tell you a secret, and the listeners as well. I did go and submit for subscription. Do you know what it has been telling me since the middle of last year?
What is it saying? Access denied.
Not, but essentially, it's saying it's under review. And there is no way for you to submit and say, hey, can you guys check on this that's under review? It just is stuck on it's under review for over a year. Now, it's not a big deal. Like, I was going to do it just because I already produce so much content, and it would be nice to get a little bit of, and even if you get a little bit of money, there are some people who would be like, oh, you sell out, you're getting some money. I'm like, do you have any idea how many hundreds and hundreds of hours I put into making content to entertain people? And if I make a subscription, I would think that it would, I don't know, that would be fair.
Yeah,
But of
true.
course, you're gonna get critics. But at the same time, it's interesting that it's just stuck on waiting on review. What's going on, guys? I'm totally confused. But I don't. Again, I don't do this just for that. So it would be nice to do and to experiment with. But people like blockchain backer as well. I remember him saying many times that he was like the second most subscribed to creator on Twitter, and he decided to go away from it for several reasons. So it's not like it's the end all be all. Maybe it'd be nice to get a few bucks, but I'm
Definitely.
not too worried about it.
Yeah. From everything you've already mentioned, it seems as if you have a great background and a great history along the XRPP profile. And I'd love to now, before we transition, have you met Brad Garlinghouse?
I have met Brad Garlinghouse.
Incredible.
I've I met him briefly in Las Vegas, and we were able to talk for probably just like a minute before, because he was just swarmed by
Oh,
people. So I
yeah.
was
He's a
oh,
major celebrity.
yes, so I was able to meet with him and at least let him know, because he's followed me for a while and we have messaged with each other. I won't talk about it. It's nothing like top secret stuff, but I still won't talk about what we messaged about. But
Of course.
we have messaged each other in the past. But he didn't know what I looked like. So I was able to tell him, like, hey, Brad, while trying to make sure no one else heard, but hey, Brad, it's XRPP. I'm the satire account. And he got a kick out of that. So that was
Nice.
cool. We got a we got a picture together, which is not going to be shared with anyone else, but I have it myself. And so that was a very nice exchange. I sent the picture to him afterwards, and he had a very nice response and everything. And so, yes, I've met Brad Garlinghouse. I also, let me think about this. I met David Schwartz for the first time in New York. I had not, and he's another one where he'd followed me for a long time. And we actually have some, if for people who have been in the community a long time, there's been some kind of very fun and very legendary back and forths between XRPP and between David Schwartz. I
Nice.
think he has, I don't think, I know that he has a lot of the same sense of humor that I does. Yeah, he's smart like he's smart like I is. No, he has a lot of the same sense of humor that I do. And he does a lot of bits that people are like, I know that you're XRPP and that XRPP is you because your humor is the same. He's just I can't say how smart I am. I don't know. That's for other people to judge. But I know he's a smart guy, and he's really sharp with his humor. I admire it. And
He's your
so I
doppelganger.
think,
That's what he is.
yeah, like the humor doppelganger. And
Yeah.
so I think early on he was drawn to my humor. I think he saw what I was doing, and we've had some pretty epic exchanges. I wrote one satire article one time about him getting pulled over by a cop and him trying to use his blockchain celebrity status to get out of a ticket. And it didn't work, and he got the ticket. It was just a funny article. It was one of my proudest articles. And
Amazing.
what was so funny was a few months down the road after that, he made a tweet and he said, "This is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me at Ripple." He said, XRP Productions wrote a tweet about me, and this is in 2020 that he wrote this, but he said XRPP wrote a tweet about me in which I used my celebrity blockchain celebrity status to try and get out of a ticket. And it was searched quite a bit and it was active quite a bit online, even though it was a satire article. And one of those sites that tries to clean up your online, the stuff that's out there about you online, that's maybe doesn't make you look very good. They contacted him at Ripple and they said, "Hey, we can clean this up for you. This is out there and it doesn't look good on your record. You want us to, for a fee, we can clean this up for you." And he said, "This is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me at Ripple because it's a freaking satire article and the
Yeah.
satire article itself was funny." And so that right after that was when he started following me. And then we've had some pretty epic exchanges. I finally met him and his wife. They're both just lovely people at the proper party in New York. So we had a really nice exchange there.
Nice. Yeah, those David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse, those are like celebrities that are like if celebrities. They're walking out in public.
Yes.
Majority of people won't know who they are, but if you see them, you're gonna be in starstruck moment, and that's
It
how I
really is
feel about
funny.
it. Yeah,
It's funny because in this community, as well as I do, and I honestly don't know if it's really like that in too many other crypto communities. There
maybe
are
Cardano.
celebrities. Yeah, the Cardano, you got your Charles Hoskinson,
Yeah,
but is there honestly, I don't know if you're a Cardano guy, but is there
uh,
like a whole slew of different Cardano people on Twitter that have the same level of celebrity that there is in the XRP community? Look,
no,
think about it.
no.
Not only the people involved with the XRP ledger, and then of course Ripple as well, but they're just Ripple is Ripple, but all of the different characters and personalities and content creators within the XRP community. Is there any other blockchain community that has that kind of cavalcade of that pantheon of celebrities? Is there? I don't think there is.
I hate to say this, and I'd only wanna say Ethereum only because of the supply, and, like, just not supply, sorry, size the community on Ethereum. I feel as if there's probably people out there, maybe not with the same amount of following sizes, but there's probably people who have, satire accounts for Vitalik and Ethereum maybe, who knows, but at the end of the day, fuck Ethereum, and that's why
And by the
but
way, yeah, I have
yeah,
nothing. I got nothing against Ethereum other than I think there's better tech out there. I
that's
think
what
that
I
there's
got against
really
them. There's so much better
yeah,
tech, and people are blind to it.
there is. And people are blind to it and they have such a damn first mover advantage. It's so ridiculous what
Yeah,
a first mover advantage they have to where a lot of things are already built on Ethereum, people using EVM, all these ERC20 tokens, and it's just like a foregone conclusion. What are you going to use? Ethereum? Oh yeah, sure. And and I know that it's there's some chinks in the armor and it can't last forever, especially if there's better tech.
yep.
But wow, they really have a first mover advantage. But I don't necessarily have anything against Ethereum in particular. I have something against the people who founded Ethereum and who did some dirty dealings to gain a foothold into having a corner on the market and having a token factory that really was ignored by the regulators. And we know
Paying out the
why it was
SEC
ignored.
under the table. Way to
Yes.
go. Jay Clayton
Yes.
taking his bag and leaving. How about that?
Exactly. And so many individuals that we find out monetarily benefited from the free pass of Ethereum, either directly or indirectly.
It's terrible.
Yes. So that those are the people that I have a problem with, not necessarily any Ethereum holder or like even John Deaton himself was like, "Hey, I held more Ethereum than I did XRP at the start of his whole battle against the SEC on behalf of XRP holders." So, yeah, nothing against them, just against any people who game the system like that because that ends up hurting other people.
Definitely.
Like a lot of people like me and you, and I don't know when you first started holding XRP, but
Right
I held
before the
XRP.
lawsuit. How about
Really?
that?
Oh, you lucky guy.
Nah, probably
You
about 6 months prior to the lawsuit, but yeah, that's when I was first starting my XRPL adventure, and then once the lawsuit hits, I go down the rabbit hole, try to figure out what the hell caused this, and I figure out everything I need to know plus more, and that's where I get that mentality of F Ethereum, onward XRP.
Yes, exactly. And I actually a little bit the rivalry that we have among cryptos.
True.
Like a lot of people are like, "Ah, we should all be on the same team," and yeah, we should in a number of ways. But it's also fun to have our little tribes as well. I maybe it's better that we don't get too tribal, of course. but it's one of those things. I don't know. It kind of gamifies. It makes it a little bit fun, especially when if it's good natured rivalry.
Yeah.
But
And
it can get nasty out there too.
what's the rivalry? $100 gas fees, 1 penny or less than a penny.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
rivalry. It just
Absolutely.
makes sense.
There's no rivalry. You're right. You're right. But then when other people start to call your coin a shit coin, that gets a little bit frustrating.
It does.
Especially one of the founders.
What can we do? But you know what I got
What are
problems
you gonna
with?
do?
I got problems with Zerpay, where meme meets the dream
Sharpay.
in a awesome world of Zerp land. So I'd love to start transitioning. Let's get out of this ETH gate and let's transition to how'd you come up with Zerpay? What was the inspiration behind this? I love
Yeah, me too. So Zerpay started actually with a satire article, surprisingly enough. And
nice.
one of the things that I always did with XRP satire articles was to post a satire article that was funny, that also hit upon the frustrations that we all felt by holding XRP. So one of them was XRP holders took part in the first annual chicken sacrifice to get the price of XRP to
Oh,
move because they tried everything else and nothing else was working. So they decided to have a fun chicken sacrifice. And all these, I did a Photoshop of these community members getting together in front of this coop of chickens. And they were slitting the throats of these chickens
oh my.
because, hey, we need some goddamn movement, for crying out loud. Give us a break. Everything else has failed. We're going to try a chicken sacrifice. Another one was XRP holders decided to go into a deep space deep freeze in order to hibernate for 10 years so that they could waken to a time when XRP actually was a higher price. So it's just a bunch of fun, ridiculous satire articles like that to where people can read it, they can get a laugh, and they can say, yeah, it is tough being an XRP holder. And it builds like camaraderie and so on. Well, one of the articles that I did was XRP holders were tired of seeing all of these doggy meme coins shoot to the moon, and while their XRP just stays stagnant. And so what they decided to do as XRP holders was just turn XRP into a doggy meme coin. But you can't. But what rhymes with XRP? Nothing rhymes with XRP in terms of a dog. But we do call dogs, or we do call XRP Zerps, right?
We do.
So yes. So in the article, I had it be Zerpay the Sharpei was the actual dog that we adopted to be the mascot for XRP. Zerpay the Sharpei. And it had a picture of Brad Garlinghouse holding these Sharpei puppies, and it had a picture of a Sharpei shitting on the SEC logo, and it was just silly. It was just fun. And
Definitely.
then right after that, I have known for years a guy named Michael in Luxembourg, and he
Michael
is
Saylor.
from the and he no, not Michael Saylor, much better than Michael Saylor, but he is an XRP community member who started around the same time I did, but he's from the film industry in Europe. He's worked on movies for quite a while in Europe, and he came to me one day back in 2019 or 2020 saying, I really love your satire articles. Can I do Photoshops for you? I do a much better job at Photoshops. I can help you. And I said, that would be great. But I said, I would feel bad if I didn't pay you and I can't afford to pay you. This is just for fun. And he was like, no, I don't want payment. He said, I want to have fun with you. And I said, shit, how can I say no? And so he started doing Photoshops for all of my, or a lot of my satire articles. They were much better than mine. So they added some validity. But what he's the one who did the Photoshops of the Sharpei in that particular story. And when I told him, I said, we should make a meme coin. This was back in 2021. I'm like, we should make a meme coin just for fun that is Zerpay. And I tell you, within a day, he had a Discord set up. He had all
Jeez.
this stuff. And he was just going to have a good time. He had these memes. He had a group of friends that he got involved to help us do some things.
Nice.
But then we never ended up doing anything with it because we both had busy lives. And it was just like, it's fun, but we didn't actually make the coin or anything. So fast forward to November of last year, I think we decided to go ahead. We're like, let's make Zerpay again, and we just have a good time. And we're like, we want. It's so tiring being an XRP holder and being in crypto in a bear market, and it's just we're here to have fun. Anyone who's seen the XRPP account knows that I want to keep good spirits up and I want to have fun with a community. And it was getting really down in the XRP community, and it has been for a while. So we're like, let's make this damn token. So we made the token. We started the Twitter account, Zerpaay Official. It's Zerpay, right? Zerpaay.
Yeah.
And we started the account, and then we still didn't do anything with it because we're just like we're focused on other projects, and we just didn't do anything with it. As of, I think it's about 2.5 months ago, that we're like, okay, we're going to do this because we don't want to let this get away from us. We really want to create a community that everyone in XRP, especially after the SEC lawsuit had a good resolution, at least in terms of how XRP was labeled as not a security in and of itself.
Yeah.
That's about the most we can hope for. But what kicked us in the nuts was we had the result that we wanted. The price of the token goes to 90 cents. Oh my God, this is what we've all been waiting for. It's the only one with clarity. Open the floodgates. Here we come. And farts its way back down to the rest of the market. And
Wah,
this is something.
wah,
Yep.
wah.
Wah, wah. And so everyone, I can tell everyone's getting bitchy. They're sick and tired of this asset. They're snapping at each other. There's all kinds of cliques in the XRP community. It is really shitty to be around.
Yep.
And I still want to have fun, and I still want to be a part of a community, and there's so many people that are awesome people in this community. And so I'm like, I said to Michael, let's start up Zerpay and let's have some fun, and maybe we can make a go of it and have it be an actual project that eventually we can get a little salary off of. But for now, let's just have fun with the project and see where it goes. So we did it. So we started it up, and we had a core group of people who were our quote unquote generals. They were just people that we had messaged and said, hey, do you want to be part of this with XRPP? And just, yeah, sure, that's great, let's do it. And they don't know what's going on. We didn't even know what's going on, but we gave them some Zerpay because we created 589 million Zerpay. We gave them some Zerpay. Hey, come be part of this. Here's some Zerpay. We realized when we started it that it's all that's the Zerpay that we gave is actually a that's decent amount, and we don't want anyone at all to get hurt at any time by any one person. So we
Yeah.
contacted these people. So we're like, okay, turn back in the Zerpay, and we're going to give you an NFT that allows you to be a quote unquote general and be part of the project. And then, as a general, you can do what's called missions. And it's nothing. It's no manual labor. It's nothing nefarious. It's just you tweet about, like, all the content that we make on Zerpay official. Interact with it. Have a good time. Be simple stuff. Be part of the spaces, and they're always fun. Be part of the spaces, and it's get your engagement up in a fun way, not in a bad way or an evil way or anything. And you can win Zerpay as just a reward for completing the missions. And so that's how we at least kicked it off, how we got it going. But everything, every little thing that we've done, and I put a lot of my own money and Michael as well into the project, but every little way that we've made money in the project, it's gotten back into the project. Now we have motion designers that are helping us to make educational content because
Nice.
we truly want this to be not only a fun meme coin, but we truly want to produce stuff that is educational as far as the XRP ledger. So we're going to make a learn to earn platform. We're in the middle of making educational pieces about the XRP ledger that is not only accurate because we're using Panos. We've teamed up with Panos Smec. I don't know if you know of him. He's one of the OGs in the
Yes.
XRP community to review our scripts to make sure that we have accurate information about the XRP ledger on the pieces that we produce. We have all kinds of giveaways. We're giving away massive amounts of Zerpay for people to be involved with the Zerpay official Twitter account, all kinds of content that we're making. We are in the middle of making a gaming platform. We have two video game guys who are making video games. We have an XRPL dev who is doing our back end stuff
You're
to
killing it.
where, yes, to where we're going to have a play to earn gaming platform that's Zerpay Games. And in addition to other things, like I do 5 shows a week. I love trivia. So I do trivia shows. They're unique trivia. One of them's a dirtier trivia, and one of them is a challenging trivia show called Death Hot Dog. I do trivia shows 5 times a week. We're putting massive amounts of our own effort and time into this project. We have an engaged community. We have NFTs that give you the right to be a general or a colonel and earn Zerpay rewards for being involved. And like I said, we're producing educational content. And one of the things that I'm really excited about that I hope grows, but it's not my initiative, it's one of our generals, has he contacted friends who are teachers at the Audie Murphy Middle School in South Texas.
Nice.
And he actually is using Zerpaay and the Sum Wallet in the classroom. Now, yes, before I go on, and this is in a middle school classroom, before I go on, it's not costing the school anything. It's not costing the parents anything. It's not costing the kids anything. Everything is donated by us and by this General Coronado to where they can use this particular token in the classroom to, based on their behavior, they can earn little bits of Zerpay. So let's say they have good behavior all month in the classroom. They get X amount of Zerpay given to them by the teacher.
You're getting
Let's say
paid to
they
be a good student, is what you're
well,
saying.
but it gamifies it.
True.
But here's the thing: they're not speculating on it. It's not, hey, we're going to give them Bitcoin and then they can go and do whatever. They're not speculating on it. They're given little bits of Zerpay in a controlled environment, and then what they're doing is they're able to take that Zerpay, and there's a cabinet with goodies, snacks, juices, waters, cupcakes, whatever. Some healthy, some not. But they will be able to, upon getting their Zerpay, they can cash them into the teacher, and they can get a snack. And it gamifies it in a safe way. And what's it doing? It's, while they're using it, they're learning about the Sum Wallet. They're learning about the very efficient transfer of small amounts of a digital token that can be converted for real life use. They're learning about blockchain. Coronado's meeting with them every couple of weeks.
I know
So
what you're doing.
it's,
I know
well,
exactly what you're doing, XRPP.
oh, you
You
tell me.
are prepared for the dollar to collapse, and you're getting these middle schoolers down in Texas prepared to use Zerpay for everything they need.
Really, I don't have any faith in the dollar. I only have faith in Zerpay. So you got it. No, but
That's
if
amazing.
if you want
It's
to
a great
word
concept.
it, it's cool. If you want to
Yeah,
word it like that, you can. I'm not necessarily saying anything specifically about the dollar, but we know. But one of the cool things about using this stuff and getting kids exposed to it is, we know the inherent inflationary aspects of the dollar. And a lot of people don't have a problem with that, and that's fine if they don't have a problem with that. But a lot of us do, who we don't necessarily want to see the dollars in our bank accounts over the course of a year or two being visibly less valuable, right?
very
Um,
true.
so it's cool to introduce these kids at least to the idea
Mhm.
of a digital asset with a fixed supply that will never will more be created. Now, that doesn't automatically mean it's going to be valuable, because you can produce a token in 5 minutes, right? So it doesn't mean just because it has no ability to print more of a particular token doesn't mean it'll be valuable. But for those tokens that are being used that have a market value, at the very least, that no more can be created. So it's just one thing to consider.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, and it's something that's cool to introduce to kids.
You're
And
also
once,
I hate to interrupt, but you're also inspiring these kids to new innovation, new technology. Them just messing around with the Zum wallet could potentially inspire them to start their own NFT project on the XRPL and go even further than that and maybe even start some new tech built upon the XRPL. The opportunities are endless, and starting at such a young age, it's really just going to open the doors up to tons of different creativity and tons of different new paths that they never really probably thought of ever existing until these last 5 years with cryptocurrency. A lot of middle schoolers nowadays really don't understand what crypto is still. And just the concept of Zerpay being in the classroom, able to use to buy toys, snacks, whatever it may be, it's just something that can really open their brain up to new ideas and just creative thinking. And I think
it
creative
is,
thinking for any age is really smart.
I absolutely agree. And a lot of people would think, "Oh, you think you're a big shot, huh? You're going to be changing the whole zeitgeist just by with your little doggy meme token." Well, screw you. At
Yeah,
least we're trying to introduce this in a fun way
yeah,
to the
definitely.
classroom. And again, this is not quote unquote the main goal of Zerpay. This is a one really cool aspect of Zerpay that was started by one of our community members that we're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, thumbs up, way to go, man. Do it. And let's get it in more classrooms." If it doesn't ever earn us anything, we will donate all the Zerpay. It's not about earning anything. It's about, let's have a
Definitely.
project that has a fun community, that is really engaging, that lifts people's spirits, and that is also used for cool stuff like that. So any critics of it, there's going to be critics with anything. And I don't even blame people for being really suspicious about a meme coin or immediately thinking it's a shit coin or whatever. I don't blame them, but at the same time, I couldn't care less about what they're saying right now, because we're trying to build something that's significant and fun. And other people are like, why don't you just use XRP? We want to have our own effing project
Yeah.
that is that is fun, and it is cool to create your own token and have your own project, especially when it's themed. So something like Zerpay, we're able to create all of this ridiculous, funny, engaging, fun content. You can't do that with a black X. And also
Got that
it
right.
teaches and also it teaches people that the XRP ledger is the original DEX. It's the you can create your own token on it for whatever you're building. And that's awesome. And
The
the
foundation.
majority of Yes, and the majority of these are, I think, eventually you'll go away. The majority of these, time will tell with all of it, but it doesn't mean that people can't try to create their own project. But I think what does happen, and I understand it, there are a lot of people who will make a token and a project or whatever, get some quick bucks, and then they're gone.
Yep.
And it's not going to end it's not going to end anytime soon. It's going to keep going and going. What's going to happen is, through time, you will be able to tell whether or not Zerpay is doing what they say they're trying to do, or another project is doing what they say they're trying to do and creating some kind of value for a community or not. And I don't ask anyone anything. I don't ask them to buy the token. I don't ask them to promote the token if they're not having fun with it. I just say, for those of you who want to be part of a community and have some fun and take part in what we are doing, listen to a show and see if you laugh or not.
Out of
Check
a
out
really cool idea. I know you're referring to trivia spaces and stuff of that nature, and I assume you probably are a big fan of Jeopardy, a
Oh,
Twitter
sure.
space
Yeah.
name, Zerpardy.
Dude, yeah, this is Zerpardy. No,
Zerpardy, hosted to you by
I,
XRPP.
I think that's great, and maybe that's something that we'll be able to do. This is Zerperdy. Yeah, I like it, but it's something that we're doing just to have. We're having fun. If let's say, like on Dirty Dog Trivia, we have disgusting trivia questions, right? And our generals get to be up on stage. We hold this twice a week. If they answer a question correctly, and we don't charge anyone to be on the show, if they answer a question correctly, then our generals pick someone in the audience to give some free Zerpay to. We had a huge token burn today, to where we're matching exactly what it says in our white paper. We take it very seriously. So the percentages held match perfectly what's in our white paper. There are 30 million Zerpay left that are reserved for general rewards and kernel rewards, as well as giveaways and airdrops and so on. And we want people to be able to, we're not going out there like some projects and saying, hey, you need to hold 40% Zerpay in your portfolio. No, don't hold it at all if you don't want to. But if you do want to have some free Zerpay, you don't have to buy it. If you want to get some free Zerpay, be part of a show and you can be selected. Be part of the dozens of giveaways that we do from our generals and from our account every week. Because sooner or later that's going to dry up. And if the project is successful, then great, and you have some Zerpay that you got for free. If it's not successful, then it didn't cost you anything to get the Zerpay. So, because we're going to continue on building and having fun for as long as we're able to. And in time, I'm hoping that a lot of the people who are saying, oh, it's just a shitcoin, it's just a shill shitcoin, that I'm hoping that they'll see, holy shit, they made 20 educational videos. They have a gaming platform to where you can just go and play and have fun and earn Zerpay. They're really putting a lot of sweat, blood, and tears into hosting shows to entertain people. They have a learn to earn platform. We're going to do e-commerce as well, to where you can get merchandise
Nice.
and just all kinds of stuff. And if we're able to get it in the classroom as well, to use this token to help kids learn about XRP Ledger or blockchain in general, Freaking A, man. It's fantastic. So we're focused on positive stuff, and we are not stopping anytime soon. XRPP is all about having fun and keeping good spirits. And I am full steam ahead on this.
Amazing. And I'd love to mention before we go, I'd love to go through the tokenomics real quick. You have 30 million tokens in circulation, 30 million reserved for future rewards, giveaways, airdrops over the next 2 years, 20 million allocated for AMM. You mind telling me what AMM stands for?
So that's automated market maker, which is
Gotcha.
coming to the XRP ledger. I think right now it's not approved. It's an amendment that's up for vote. And I think someone else would have to correct me, but I think at this date, which is November 14th, I think there's like maybe 30% approval right now, as well as I do on the XRP ledger to implement an amendment. You need over 80%
Yep.
approval. That's votes on for the validators. And once that happens, once you get the over 80%, it has to hold for 2 weeks. And
Yep.
we saw this with
With the
XLS20,
NFTs. Yep.
right? With the NFTs, where it's like, hey, it was voted in. This is great. Then someone found a problem. And thank goodness someone found a
Yeah.
problem that
Thank
needed to
goodness.
be corrected. And then what happened was that problem was corrected. Everyone's satisfied. Okay, we're all happy. We're going to have the vote again. So they had the vote. It was approved, and then it finally took effect. I think it was like Halloween of last year, like the
Nice.
30th or 31st.
And
I'm pretty
finally,
sure.
20 million
Yeah.
allocated for future project development, which is great. And you've really touched all the base points that I wanted to talk about with Zerpaay, the learn to earn. You also mentioned gaming that I was not aware of. And that white paper goes through a lot of in depth detail. If you want to get more information on that, will be linked below. My last question to you, XRPP, would be simply I know you're based in Dubai. Zerpland is a fantastical content dominated by dogs and powered by endless meme magic. I've got to ask now, do you plan on buying a plot of land, one of those islands out in Dubai, and naming it Zerpland?
Hell
Turning it
yes.
into
I am.
thousands of dogs. You import thousands of dogs there, all the Zerpland holders, and then there's your colony.
Tate, I was going to announce that maybe in a year or so. So thanks very much for totally ruining my surprise. I'm gonna buy a
Amazing.
set of islands outside of Dubai. I am going to shape them in the face of Zerpay, our logo, and I am going to have all of the stray dogs on that island. We're going to take care of them, and that will be our new Zerplan. That's what's funny about Zerpland, the fictitious Zerpland, like it's a whole land of dogs. And
Yeah,
so you'll see a lot of the content from the Zerpay official account is like stuff that's in the human culture and entertainment and so on, but it's the dog version of those because Zerpland kind of copies what's going on unknowingly in the human world. It just makes for a lot of fun puns and silly content. We've had a really good time. And again, we're not stopping anytime soon.
amazing. You're all about fun, and I can tell it just from this show and everything else that you provided to this space, XRPP. Any closing thoughts before we end this off?
My only closing thoughts is this whole space can really get you in a mental funk.
Yeah,
And they say never invest more than you can afford to lose. And also, what I would say is don't get yourself emotionally invested more than you can handle because there's still all kinds of market manipulation. There's all kinds of terrors in the night that we're waiting to find out about. Do any of us really know if all is well at Binance? Do any of us really know if all is well within Tether? Did any of us see it coming? Maybe one out of 10,000 people saw it coming with FTX, but it hurt a lot of people, and there's still a lot of problems in the space. Don't become so financially or emotionally invested in this space. Protect yourself, and I hope that part of what I do, and a lot of people would debate this, but hope that part of what I do is showing people not only that they need to laugh and keep things in perspective, but also that they think twice about any news that they see or consider where it's coming from
definitely.
or and protect yourself in that regard because people can still be hurt. But that being said, I think there's still a lot of really good people in this space. There's a lot of really amazing technology, world changing technology. And there's a lot of fantastic camaraderie in this space. And I truly still want to be a positive force in the XRP and the crypto community. And by making my own project with Michael, this Zerpaay project, which I don't even consider my own project anymore. We have such a decent sized community. We're having a really good time. So there's a lot of camaraderie to be had and a lot of friends to be made while we're also taking part in this particular journey. So that's really that is my convoluted, rambling final statement.
Very wise. Very thankful once again, XRPP, for you taking the time to join me on the Alt Kings podcast. Love to host you down the road once you secure those islands in Dubai, and hopefully we can host it there on the land.
Deal.
Once again, thank you, XRPP, for everything. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all next episode.
All of the above.
Peace. Nice.
Bye.
Welcome to Gilmore Estates, where we pave your way to real estate success. Our state-of-the-art platform is tailored to empower people from diverse backgrounds, helping them thrive in the world of real estate investment. Through the magic of Hedera NFTs, educational resources, and regular evaluations, you'll not only learn but also earn valuable HTS token, G-Coin rewards along the way. Our innovative tokenomics model closely replicates real estate cash flow dynamics, meaning the more G-Coin you possess, the larger your monthly cash flow. And the cherry on top, our Launchpad grants you the opportunity to own fractions of assets from well-established real estate holding companies. Unleash your potential and start your journey to financial success with Gilmore Estates today.